Just ask Bruce if you're ready for it.
Go ahead.
Alrighty, this one comes from Andy Meese. He says, hey, Bruce, which do you think is more difficult for an athlete? Playing two professional sports simultaneously, such as Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, or being a two-way baseball player like Shohei Ohtani?
What a fascinating. I'm not surprised getting a great question like that from Andy, because Andy has been calling me and communicating with me for a long time, Ryan. When I was doing my television show on the network all over the state of Ohio, Andy was a regular. So, boy, Andy, if it sounds like I'm dodging or biding time to try to figure out how to answer, you're right. What Ohtani is doing is astonishing. There's no question about it. I really, because I'd have to say Ohtani, because it wasn't just Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson that played two sports simultaneously. Bo Jackson didn't last long. He got hurt in football, and as a result, what could have been an unbelievable baseball career with the Royals ended very promptly, and I regret that. And I wish Sanders had stayed in baseball rather than football, even though he went on to greatness and now he's the coach of Colorado and getting all of this personality hype. But because I think he would have been tremendous too. He showed it already with the Braves when he was in the World Series against Minnesota. But I think what Ohtani's doing, it just so far surpasses Ruth, which was a totally different era. The color barrier had been broken, and obviously what Ohtani's doing, you remember this. Remember this. The hardest individual skill in the four major sports, hockey, football, basketball, and baseball, the hardest skill, I'll argue this to my grave, is hitting major league pitching. The reason is simple. If you are a shooting guard in the NBA and you shoot 30%, you're fired in a hurry. If you're a quarterback in the NFL and your completion percentage is 30%, you're out of there before the next week's practice starts. In the NHL, if you're a goaltender and you only stop 30% of the shots coming your way, you're gone too, babe. But in Major League Baseball, if you are successful hitting Major League pitching 30% of the time, not only are you an all-star, but you might be a Hall of Famer. It's the hardest individual skill in all of sports. And he's a phenomenal hitter. Plus, he's got a low ERA as a pitcher, blowing away these guys doing the same thing simultaneously. So, Andy, again, I applaud you. It's a fascinating question, but I'd have to say what Ohtani is doing is a once-in-a-lifetime accomplishment that we will never see again. I certainly won't.
All right.